I'm hiding under my blanket. I'm not going. I don't want to go. Oh, it's too early. Another chemo. It's the last chemo. Well, at least for now. Who knows what the future holds. But I gotta get up. Like, I literally just woke up. And Brian is already, like, up and getting ready and doing his thing. And I need to get up and get myself dressed. It's time for outfit of the day. What are you wearing, Brian?
This.
He's wearing a nice flannel that I'm pretty sure he wore yesterday.
Yeah, because I forgot my actual coat. I've got my jacket. I don't have my actual coat, so I'm wearing my heavier flannel underneath my jacket.
You're just dressing like a Minnesotan. They don't wear coats in this weather.
Just trying to stay warm for brief periods of time.
I am wearing the hat that somebody in Australia made us, which I forgot her name because I can't remember anything, but it's a very nice hat. This other thing that somebody else made us, but I meant to bring my Peef hat that matches this, and I totally didn't grab it, apparently. And then I'm wearing my dinosaur shirt because you guys love it so much, and I thought it might bring me cheer on my day of last final chemo treatment. And my Mayo Clinic jacket. And my pink shoes. I'm so fashionable.
And I'm wearing my Mayo Clinic shirt.
Oh, yeah. So,
we're all decked out.
Alright, okay. Brian is warming up the car, and then I'm supposed to go outside. I don't know what time it is, but we were trying to leave here by like 6:20 for my 7 a.m. appointment. I was like, maybe if we get there early, we'll get done early. So, I don't know. I don't know if that'll work out, but either way, we gotta drive there and park and all that. I'm not feeling like celebratory today. I know like your last chemo treatment is often like, oh yeah, let's ring the bell and celebrate and all that. I don't know. But I'm kind of just feeling like, again, we don't know if this is really the last. I do feel like I've achieved something by doing 6 treatments. And I'm going to get a break from chemo either way, so that's good. But yeah, mostly I'm just thinking about how the next week's gonna suck. And so maybe once I get through and I start feeling a little bit normal, I'll feel a little bit more like celebrating, or not even celebrating, but just happy. But now it's just like I have that burden of, oh yeah, like today they're gonna inject it in me, but I won't really start feeling bad for a couple of days, and then you know, it's a lot. But I guess I better go down and go get to Mayo Clinic. Is my car warm?
I mean, it's warmish. It's actually a lot warmer outside than it was yesterday. So,
Yay!
and by that I mean it's several degrees above what it was.
It's 28 degrees.
As opposed to in the teens. But yep, let's go. kiddo?
Yep.
Just a little bit more to go.
Yep.
Just get that right there.
28 minutes. Probably won't even take that long, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, it's usually, they set it for a timer, but it's not like exact.
I'm so tired.
Yeah, but we still got more to do.
But it looks like we're going to be done by 12:30.
Which is going to be awesome.
Which means we get to go to a surprise appointment that I didn't tell you guys about.
Yep.
So you guys are going to enjoy, I think.
But,
so, I don't know. I feel like I cried a little bit earlier and they were like, are you in pain, like from my IV or whatever? I'm like, no, I'm just emotional. I'm just a wreck. It feels weird to be at the end of this part of the journey. But I don't know. I still have a lot to go through in the next week or so, but it feels weird. But today's gone really smooth. Like today's been like smooth sailing.
well, the smoothest actually.
We got this thing down pat. Sometimes I get stinging in my hands, but we switched to this hand and I haven't had any issues with that really. So that's been nice, and everything's just gone really quickly.
Yep.
So I've been taking notes on my phone, writing down questions for the surgeon that we're gonna meet with. But yeah, I'm just tired.
Yeah, I know. But we're almost through this part. On to the next thing.
Eject. It's done. Just like that.
So, we got here when the sun wasn't up.
6:18 a.m.
And now we are leaving when the sun isn't up.
6:43 p.m.
And we are exhausted. We
have a lot of information.
Tons of updates.
To share with you guys.
A lot to process. And so we're going to go home and sleep first. And we'll update you guys tomorrow. So,
keep watching the video.
Yes, keep watching. I may insert a commercial right here. Welcome back to Krock's in the Kitchen. It's not tomorrow from that previous section of the video. It's
So we filmed that little segment because we were like, oh crap, we forgot to film anything else that day because everything
were exhausted.
Well, we were exhausted and everything became really heavy that day.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot of information. It was just and after going through the chemo and already being in this really emotional state and weird state from that. And so we kind of crashed at the end of that day. And then the next day we ended up driving home to St. Louis, which is like a 7-hour drive. And then the next day I started feeling like total crap from the chemo. And there was just no way I was going to film. Like filming was the furthest thing from me.
Yeah.
And I think that
it's just recovery mode.
Well, and I think that kind of shows like people are always telling us like, make sure you're taking time for yourselves and not like, even just friends and family. And you guys tell us that too, because it's hard doing this
Yeah.
sometimes, and like we love to share stuff with you as much as we like to film stuff in real time as much as possible, but we also know when it's time to just be like, nope, no cameras. So it's, what is it, like, I don't know, 12 days later or something? Like,
yeah, it's been about a week and a half since your last chemo treatment.
Yes.
You've started to pull out of the chemo funk that you get into, which is pretty great. But at the same time, she's kind of come down with a cold, and she's still immunocompromised, so we're keeping an eye on that one, and just trying to keep her immune system up so we don't have to have an emergency of some kind. But you seem to be doing okay, but we're keeping a close eye on how she feels to make sure that she is okay.
Yeah, so you guys got to see a little sneak peek of my wig.
Yes.
At the very end of the last day that we were at Mayo Clinic that we were filming. So I had actually gone and picked out a wig months ago and tried on a bunch of other ones, and we'll do a separate video all about the whole wig process. But essentially, I pulled you guys on a live stream, and everyone was kind of like, well, there were a few people who were just like, no, don't get a wig. And then there were a few people who were like, yeah, why not? I just decided to do it because my insurance would cover most of it. So I figured a lot of it. A lot of insurance doesn't cover. Yeah. And so because I was able to do that, I figured I might get a couple uses out of it, and then I'll wash it and donate it to somebody who could really use it, who really, who doesn't have insurance coverage that will cover it. So, and
it's a real nice wig.
So I can gift it forward to somebody else. But like I said, we'll do a separate video all about that. But after that, the next appointment was a meeting with a gynecologic oncologist who will be the surgeon that does my surgery.
Yes. What surgery is that, Jessica?
What surgery? Here, let me show you. Let's put all the names of all the surgery that I will be having during this massive, major surgery. So the main thing is kind of like there will be a hysterectomy. Yeah. Which means they'll remove the rest of my reproductive parts.
Uterus, ovary.
My other ovary.
Fallopian tube.
I don't know. Whatever else junk is down there. Yeah. They will remove all of that. Which is... There's a lot that goes along with that that's kind of, worrying me in the sense of feeling like my womanhood is being taken away, or like there's just a lot of I don't really understand what's going to happen. Like, I know I'll be going through menopause at 37, which is insane to me, but the good thing is they actually have an appointment. I have an appointment coming up next week with a team that will kind of explain that side of it to me before I actually have the surgery. So the surgery itself is going to be a pretty major surgery.
As in, it is a major surgery.
It's not like, hey, let's do some laparoscopic, like I'm going to have a huge cut. Yeah. They're going to cut down the middle of me, at least from my belly button on down, possibly higher if they do stuff with the liver. Yeah. You want to talk about some of the risks that he told us?
So, due to the fact that she had a surgery previously, they said that the surgeon said that there is a small chance that there could be an issue with her bowel. And if that's the case, they may have to essentially remove a small portion of it and recombine the two ends. And
wait, what?
And did give her that? Yes, that's the entire point. Because then if that's the case, then they attach the 2 points, and then she would have
the ureter.
No. She would have a colostomy bag then to help that to where it'll heal, and she doesn't have to have anything going through that portion of the bowel. They also talked about possibly doing something to her ureter, because as you guys may remember, when she went through the surgery the first time, they left a little bit of the cancer on her ureter, because if they were to cut more of it, they would have just damaged her ureter. So the surgeon said that they could possibly, depending on what they find in there, cut out that section, move the bladder over, and then reattach those.
Yeah, I remember that part.
On the plus side, though, they're going to have a urologist there in the surgery as well, so they can put a stent in and do all of that kind of stuff, so Jessica doesn't have to deal with any of the stuff that she had to deal with before when the first surgery happened.
Yeah, because my other surgery, if they just put a stent in, like, during the surgery or a bit after it, I could have avoided weeks of pain and nausea and all kinds of problems.
With the hydronephrosis of her kidney.
Yeah, of my kidney. But they did...
Which...
Oh, yeah, I did have an ultrasound the other day on my kidney, and they said there's no hydronephrosis right now. So, but we don't know what they're going to find. He said there's going to be a lot of probably scar tissue in there from my other surgery, which is going to complicate the surgery for sure. But my risk for something like like having a colostomy bag or something like that is...
It's small.
It's very small, but it's elevated greatly from a normal person going into this surgery because that mass that I originally had on the left side had grown into the outer layer of my bowel, so they don't know what they're going to find exactly when they go in there.
Yeah.
And so he said, whereas a normal person's risk is like point something, mine is like 5 to 10%. So, yeah. But if I do have to get that, it would only be temporary.
Yeah.
It would only be for a few months. It would not, I asked him like 3 times. I was like, it would not be permanent. He's like, no, it would not be permanent. It would just be a temporary thing. But they are going to have me marked. Like, is it a stoma or something?
Stoma.
Mark? Yeah. I don't know. They're doing some kind of marking before the surgery just in case. But yeah, the thing about the ureter, he's like, oh yeah, we'll just snip off a piece of the ureter
just snip the
and
part out and just
reconnect it to your bladder and just move your bladder. I was like, you can do that? You can just move stuff around? I mean, I guess I'll have a lot of extra space in there.
I even joked that like that's the way my brain works. It's not like a physiological solution, but like a plumbing solution. It's like, can't you just like cut this part, cut that part, and move it? Apparently you can.
Like, yeah,
so,
you pretty much can.
Like that, I just thought it was fascinating.
I don't know.
But
it's going to be a big surgery. The gynecologic oncologist definitely told us all kinds of things, like all of the things that could potentially happen, but also kind of warning us that because we still don't understand fully what's going on in the liver, there's a chance they could remove all this and do like the debulking surgery and remove all the, do the hysterectomy, remove all the cancer that they can find in there. They might remove like some lymph nodes and stuff like that. But if the liver is involved, that's still going to be my problem, like in the end,
Yeah.
And so, there is a potential that this surgery could just be like, yep, we did all this, but it didn't help. It's still in your liver and you're screwed. But with all of the uncertainty there is surrounding my liver, I feel like if they're offering me the chance to do this surgery, I have to take it.
Yeah.
Because I feel they wouldn't do the surgery if they were just thinking, well, this is absolutely not going to help this girl at all. And I feel like if it was, if it's left in my hands, because we still have to have some more discussion. So the surgery is potentially scheduled for December 29th, but the surgeon, the gynecologic oncologist, is supposed to talk to the liver surgeon, and the liver surgeon has been like kind of out of pocket for the past several days, week, whatever. And so we are meeting with the liver surgeon in 2 days time, less than 2 days time at this point, to get her opinion.
Yeah. And
see if there's any surgery that can be done on the liver. Can they, resect? Is that what it is? Resect some of the lesions, or is, so. The
main doctor that we go to actually sent us a link to an article about possible benefits to doing a type of liver surgery to help with stuff. I don't understand it one bit, and that's saying something. It is so above my level of understanding of physiology that I don't even want to share it with you because it just made zero sense to me.
The gynecologic oncologist, the surgeon who will be doing that part of the surgery, the hysterectomy and stuff, my takeaway is he didn't seem too optimistic about the potential for me to have surgery on the liver. But it's also not necessarily his, expertise.
Yeah.
So
and at every turn, the not the normal thing has happened with us.
So I'm really curious to see what this liver surgeon has to say and get her weigh in. They actually had me do after, so we met with the surgeon. We must have talked to the surgeon himself for like an hour and a half, and
at
then
least
his nurse for another hour and a half or something.
It was a long time.
They spent a lot of time, and that's one really good thing about Mayo Clinic. They do spend a lot of time with you, and I've never felt rushed in any of my meetings with doctors there, and they, their job is to outline, his job was to outline the warrant, here's what potentially could happen from this surgery. Here's all the risk involved. And we don't even know if this is going to help me in the end, but
I believe it will.
Yeah.
So, I believe that this is the right path.
So then after that was done, I had an MRI scheduled because they wanted to get an updated MRI before I meet with this liver surgeon this week. So that was on that same day that we were up at 6:30 we were up at like 5 something, and I had chemo, and then it was chemo, and then we went to the wig place, then we went and met with the surgeon, then we went to the MRI. Like, we were at Mayo Clinic for over 12 hours, and the MRI basically the result for the MRI was kind of like very similar to what my previous MRI in October was. Maybe things had shrunk a little bit, but there wasn't anything groundbreaking from that MRI.
Yeah. So we got all that done. We got all this information. We've got a path going forward right now, and we've got a lot of meetings to do. Heck, we're
actually leaving tomorrow to drive back to Rochester, and I have, I think, 7 or 8 appointments between now and when they're going to do the surgery. I have like another ultrasound and some several things of blood work, and then meeting with the anesthesiologist and all that. Like, there's just a lot
going on.
I think I'm kind of in denial that it's happening. Like, the surgery is potentially going to be happening in a couple of weeks. The way that we left it off with the gynecologic oncologist was that he would talk to the liver surgeon after she weighed in based on all my latest scans and get her opinion, and then call me back, and we'd have another big discussion before we 100% confirm that we're moving forward with this surgery. But with the liver surgeon being out, I don't think they've had time to talk yet. But we'll be talking to her on Thursday. So we're kind of in this really uncertain place where it's like, we think this is happening, but we're not 100% sure this is 100% happening. But it's looking like
I'm 98% sure.
It's looking like I'm in denial. It's looking like we're gonna spend New Year's Eve at Mayo Clinic.
Yeah.
Also, one more thing, and then we're gonna close this video out. I forgot to tell them about my fall risk.
Yeah. So when she went to get the MRI, they asked her the question, have you fallen, what was it, within the last week or so?
Yeah, within the last week, have you fallen? And I was took my mask down, and it showed my face.
Do this.
Which, by the way, look at how great my face is healing.
Yeah, it's coming up.
It's healing very, very nicely. The bruise is gone. It still hurts a little down here, but
you just got a little bit of thing right there on your chin, and a little bit of redness on your lip.
Yeah, but it's been healing very nicely. But anyway, the lady was asking, and then I explained how I had fallen, and she's like, well, let's just go ahead and put this on you. And so I actually just left it on because I thought it was so funny, and
I just think it's great.
It's so true. I am a fall risk.
You are a fall risk.
In general. Nothing to do with cancer or chemo or any of that. I'm just a fall risk in general because I'm a clumsy person.
Yeah. Also, I fell for you.
Oh.
But yeah, so we got a lot of stuff coming up here. We got a lot of things planned. Got videos to post, recipes that we want to get out as well. We got new exciting things that are happening into the new year, even that are planned out for a good bit going forward. All that to say, we're going to close out this video now because we're not going to get into any of that stuff until those videos are coming out. But subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Click the bell that is right next to it. You'll get notified whenever we post a new video, especially if you guys really do want to keep track of this, because we're going to make content as it comes up, as long as she is capable of doing so. Also find us on social media, Facebook and Instagram, and you can probably follow along because Jessica will probably be posting little snippets and videos and stuff there as well. But I think that's all I got.
That's definitely all I got.
We will see you next time on Crocks in the Kitchen. Bye.